All right. Interestingly, we are live now. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon from wherever part of the world you are joining us from this evening. You are welcome to another interesting edition of the Europe and the UK Scholarship Series. And before we go further into the event, I would like to confirm if you guys can hear us. So kindly drop in the chat session if you can hear us loud and clearly. We don't want to be talking to ourselves. So please just drop in the comment section your name and the country you are joining us from, and let us know if you can hear us. So I'm waiting for your chat, guys. So just drop it in the chat. I'm going to see it. Okay. I need to just check my LinkedIn as well. We are still waiting for you. If you are here with us, kindly let us know. Drop in the chat session if you can. Okay. So we are still waiting for people to join us. Okay, Daniel is saying yes. Ibrahim is saying loud and clearly. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Please just tell us your name and which country you are joining us from. We'll be happy to meet you virtually. Thank you so much. Yeah. Um, I think Oluwafemi is there from Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I can see Oluwaseun Ayo from Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. I think I'm seeing Nnameka. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. Yes, you can hear us loud and clear. Thank you so much for confirming that. Daniel from Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you for joining us. Um, I think Swezin is here. He said yes, he can join us, he can hear us. Engineer Ibrahim, maybe you should log out and log in again, because I think people are saying they can hear us loud and clear. So this is Oshibogun from Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I see Blessing. Thank you for joining us. I think we have quite a lot of numbers of people joining in. This is Joaquin. Yes, he says we can hear us loud and clear. Temitope is here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone for tuning in this evening. Then we have Lala Oyepeju. That's a good one. Thank you for joining us. I have Benjamin Paul from Tanzania. And thank you so much. I really appreciate every one of you for coming on board this evening. So, like I shared my greetings earlier on, you are welcome to another impactful edition of the Europe and the UK Scholarship Series. And for those that are joining us for the first time, I'm Omobolanle Kalinikoshe, a doctoral researcher at Chagas Island, and I'm the convener for the Europe and UK Scholarship Series. And interestingly, today we'll be hosting the Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professional. And this is one of the Europe's most prestigious and impactful scholarship that we have globally. And this series is part of our Agri Scholars Mentoring Hub, which is designed to equip students and professionals with practical insight into winning scholarships and thriving academically. So today we are focusing more on Sweden application, and we are going to navigate the process together with our scholars. We have three incredible speakers who are also awardees of the SI scholarship, and each of them they are going to share their insights, their personal stories, professional background, and practical tips to guide applicants on how to prepare for the next SI application cycle, which is going to open shortly. And before I introduce our speaker, I know if you are joining, you've joined our previous session, we have a ritual or a rite that we do before we go into the series fully, and that is just to have a short opening prayer, just to acknowledge the presence of God in our midst. So I'm going to do that, and afterwards, I'm going to read out the bio of our speakers. Our Father and our God, we thank you this evening for yet another wonderful session. Thank you for the testimonies that have come from the previous one. And we thank you because you brought our speakers here this evening to share from their knowledge, from the wealth of their knowledge on how to navigate the Sweden scholarship. Father, we pray that you give them the wisdom, the knowledge to be able to disseminate the right information, that everyone will be a beneficiary of it and they will be able to use this information and tailor it successfully for their application in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, because you've heard and answered. For in Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. Amen. All right, so thank you for joining your faith with us this evening. And quickly, I'm just going to introduce our speakers for the Sweden Scholarship Series. So the first person I'm going to introduce to you is Charles Kizito. I hope I pronounced it correctly. That's a Ugandan name, so just bear with me. So Charles is a sustainability and climate change advocate with over 9 years experience in environmental engineering and resource management, and is a the Sweden Scholar 2025. So we are bringing a very recent awardee of the scholarship. So for you to know that he just got a scholarship this year and is currently in Sweden pursuing a master in applied environmental science, ecosystems, and natural resource management at Amsterdam University. And the next person I have is Brown Isosa Ovian. Sorry, just bear with me. So Brown is a passionate agripreneur with over 10 years in sustainable agriculture and value chain development, and is also an SI Scholar 2025. He's studying plant biology for sustainable production at Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences under the SI Scholarship. Then I have the big boss of the of the show, which is Felix Nachite. Yeah, I'm sure I should be able to get that right. So Felix is a mechanical engineer and an SI scholar studying sustainable energy engineering at KTH Royal Institute of Technology, and is an active mentor who has been able to guide over 15 successful SI applicants even this year. And if you are someone that is very active on LinkedIn, you should know Felix very well when it comes to mentoring people for the SI scholarship. So these are the three SI scholars. Felix got the Sweden scholarship 2024, if I'm right, all right? So he's also an awardee for the scholarship. So we have these three speakers on board this evening that will be sharing their journey and insight on how to win this scholarship. So without taking much of our time, I want to go straight into the interview session for the three of them this evening. And like you all know, I like to start with their personal story, their motivation, even before they tell us how they applied for the application. So this evening, we are going to begin with your journey. Each of you, you came from this distinct background, engineering, agriculture, and environmental science. Sorry, I'm having a feedback. Is anybody putting on their microphone or listening from somewhere? All right. Thank you so much for that. Uh, okay. Oh, sorry for the, how do I call it? For the I was having a background there. So, like I was mentioning, we want to go into our personal application journey. Each of you, you have this distinct background in engineering, agriculture, environmental science, and the like. So you all find your way into Sweden through that scholarship, and that's a beautiful one. So Charles, I just want to I want you to share with us what actually inspired you to apply for SI scholarship, and how did you came across SI scholarship? So yes, I want to ask Charles first that question. What inspired you to apply for SI scholarship?
Thank you very much, Blessing. Concerning the question how I got inspired to apply for this course, I don't know whether you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. So my journey started in 2024. Must have gotten this inspiration from my cousin sister, who was a scholar in 2023, 2025. She gave me this course and line up of the scholarship link to apply for this scholarship, and it failed on the first attempt because I didn't really read well what was really the important key guidelines and what was really important to note when was applying for this course. So I failed in 2024. I might have missed narrowly just because I didn't read what was really required and which courses were really eligible for the scholarship. But I happened to apply for this year and I managed to really get it. So, what really inspired me to get into this course? I've worked for nearly 10 years as an environmental engineer and management, working in climate change, working with communities, and looked at what was really happening within communities and realized that sustainability is one of the things that is really lacking. Yeah, we have projects, they are implemented, but they are not sustainable. And one of the core areas that uh, the scholarship is looking at is how sustainable are the solutions and how applicable are they to the societies that we are really living in, because the challenges we live with them, and what are the solutions that can really drive change that can last forever. So, as one of the things that I had to look at was what is my career trajectory and what are my prospects for my career. And then I started looking at what courses are really applied for or what are really in line with my career path, and then checked within the eligible courses, and I happened to select one of the courses. Actually, there are four courses, but I was glad that I received this one because it also connects with my work background. It gives me the courage to push on, but also looking at what Sweden stands for is also another inspiration for me to really apply for this, because I was looking for a sustainable leader globally, and Sweden is one of those countries. And me being here is one of the dream come true. So yes, looking at what I was doing and also looking at the challenges in the communities, but also looking up to what other countries are doing, and getting this information would help me apply it to my country and really get the results that we
Thank
really want to. So that was some of the inspirations that really pushed me to apply for this course.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I think you did a justice to that question because I intentionally start with this question to let people know that your story is part of your application, and the way you actually frame it is also part of something that gives you an upper chance. And looking at Child's story, you could see that his story is beyond his career. He's trying to solve a problem, trying to address something meaningful in his home country. So it's very important for every one of us to know that your story matters. And when you are putting in for application, try to factor this into every aspect of your application. So I'll move on to Brown. Yes. So I know your journey, like from farming, you've been in the agricultural sector for long years, and you decided to go back studying plant biology in Sweden, which is an inspiring one. Well, what was the turning point that you should just feel like, okay, at this point of my life, I think I need to further my studies. I need to go for international opportunities. So, yeah, how did your passion for agriculture shape your motivation to applying for SI scholarship? Yeah.
All right, good evening, House. Thank you very much, Blessing. Well, like you said, uh, I'm a passionate farmer, even though I am into other business interests here and there in Nigeria. I have a foundation, a bachelor's degree in plant biology and biotechnology so many years ago, about 15 years ago. So when I left school, I decided, even though I was into other things, into business, but it got to a point the passion for farming is there, is natural. The only place I find this natural joy and peace, like tranquility, is when I'm in the farm. When I see things growing around me, it fascinates me. The way you pick seeds, you put them into the ground, and um, after some time, depending on the gestation period of the seed or the plant, you see it start developing, coming up, and before you know it, a little plant growth becomes a big plant, produces flower, and you have food, a complete cycle. So I went into farming, and during my practice, as I was practicing the farming and in my interaction with other farmers, because I participated, or I'm still participating in different green networks to encourage young people, most especially, to go into farming. For me, it's saddening that a country as blessed in terms of arable land, uh, like Nigeria, that we will be confronted, or be confronting food insecurity. If you look at statistics, a third of our population are threatened by hunger. So I felt that pushing the narratives out, encouraging young people to see the benefit in farming, to go into farming, will be a solution. Because when you are in farming, even if you cannot produce to sell or to sell to others, you produce to feed yourself. And if you have a family of 3, 4, 5 persons, and you can produce small fresh vegetables or other things that can feed you, you are reducing the pressure in your local market for demand for food. So that's it basically. And in the course of my work, I noticed how um, uh, part of the things that's discouraging people from actually going to farming, the issue of low yield productivity, the challenges surrounding production, good yield, and this has not translated to this stereotype. When you say you are a farmer, or when you say you are into farming, our people want, the first impression that comes to their mind is that you are struggling, or you are not you are not doing well, like you don't have option. So farming is more or less like for those who really are trying to survive, or something like that, because generally they see farmers as people who are not wealthy. And this is because farmers put in a lot of effort, from land preparation to planting to weeding and harvesting. And when it gets to harvesting, unfortunately, most times the expected yield, they don't get what will sustain them, what will give them the resources and to motivate them to do more. So I saw that as a challenge, that people were not really making people not to be interested in farming. So, and for me to solve that, uh, sustainable production when it comes to plant is the answer. And that was why I sought out for ways I could get more knowledge and information about sustainable plant production and crop production.
Thank you so much for that detailed insight about your personal story. Yeah, I can definitely affirm with that that most people they see anyone doing farming or agriculture as a poor person. But I'm grateful like people like you are there changing the narrative and make people, especially the young ones, to see the possibilities, the prospects in agricultural field. And I'm happy to have you on board join this evening. So I'll skip that question for Felix because of our time. So I just went into the application process, and my next question is going to be directed to Felix anyway. So for someone who is just hearing about the SI scholarship for the first time, how would you describe the SI scholarship, and why is it specifically for global professionals? So that's my question to you, Felix.
All right, good evening, everyone, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Yeah, the SI scholarship, I think, is one of the best scholarship in the world because it gives everybody an equal ground to compete. Other scholarship like maybe MasterCard or Erasmus, if you don't have a first class or a 2-1, you cannot compete with other people that have that same grade. But an SI scholarship, even if you have a pass in your degree, I mean, you can compete with someone who has a first class. So it's for global professional in the sense that you must have a working experience. You must be working. If you just finish your school and you don't have experience, I mean, then you are not eligible to apply for this scholarship. So it's for global professional. It means that you must have a working experience of 3,000 hours, which is equivalent to 1.5 years. So that is the minimum requirement for you to apply for this scholarship. If you don't have the experience, then you are not eligible to apply. But if you have the experience, I mean, not just anyhow experience, but your experience must be relevant to your intended master program and to your bachelor's degree. Take, for example, if I study mechanical engineering and I'm working in the bank, I mean, even if it's an experience, but it's not really relevant, how can you convince SI that you can be able to come and study mechanical engineering and go back and start working in the bank? So it doesn't really make sense. Like in my own case, I studied mechanical engineering and I started my career in the oil and gas, and then later on I switched into renewable energy system. So it was very easy for me to convince SI that this scholarship will equip me to go back to my home country and to increase our energy access. So for you to apply for this scholarship, you must have a working experience of 1.5 year minimum. That is the required amount of experience that you need. And even if you have 1 million hours, doesn't guarantee you. Somebody that have just that 1.5 year can even be someone that have 1 million years experience. Just have that minimal requirement, which is 1.5 year. When you have that, then you are a good fit for the SI scholarship.
All right. So thank you so much for that. I just want people to know that SI is a very global competitive scholarship out there. And it's for those that are really intentional about contributing to sustainable development in their home country. So it's very important that we set the tone right. Thank you for that overview, Felix. Then the next question for me is going to be to Charles. Before we go into much details about the application, which Felix will take us through, Charles, can you help us realize what are the key requirements? I know Felix just mentioned one of it. It does not everything. I know there is a lot of requirement that's for the SI scholarship. So, what exactly are the other requirements that we have that applicants have to meet up before applying for the SI scholarship?
All right. On top of your work experience, you must also have some uh, good grades, because what they look at, actually, Felix has talked about the second class upper, and that has to be assessed according to the Swedish system. Another thing is that you don't require an English language test. There are no IELTS or Duolingo. What you just have to prove to them that you can read and write English, because most of these countries that they selected, yes, they are aware that they are not their first language is not English. So yeah, they expect you to at least have some background in English. You must be knowing English because the courses they are going to be taught in English. So there are some specific uh, requirements for English that they will require you. Maybe your O level that you studied English at least somewhere. Uh, I've talked about a second class upper, but also you must be able to look at what is really required based on the courses that you're going to take on. They Not all courses in different universities within Sweden are offered scholarships. So what they really put out is that you have to look at your course that you want to really work on or receive or do, and you see what their requirements are. So you have to meet the requirements, the minimum requirements for that course. And for that, you also have to make sure that at least your bachelor's is related to the course that you're going to do. 3, you have also to think about your career path and how is it contributing to the sustainable development goals, because these people are really so much aware of the global challenges, and they are grooming global leaders to tackle these global challenges. So you have to be aware of that this course is not only for you to pass, but it's to get you knowledge and skills to solve global challenges. So in your application, you have to be in position to relate your course and also the global challenges that you want to solve. So you have to be familiar with the SDGs, Global
Oh,
Sustainable Goals.
all right.
Yeah.
So
So
thank you so much. I think that's just the key requirement of the SI. But just to add to it, I saw something on the website, and I'm not sure it's clear, maybe not for me alone and other people. It was saying that the applicant should be liable to pay tuition fees at university admission. But since SI is a scholarship, why is it that I need to be able to pay tuition fee? That place is not too clear. I don't know if this is particular. I think I might be asking this on behalf of those that have also
yeah,
gone through the website,
yeah.
and they might be confused with that information. So can you please clear it out for us?
Yes, you must be eligible to pay school fees because here in Sweden, education is for free, more especially for the nationals. So if you are an international, you're expected to pay school fees to these institutes. So being an international qualifies you to that eligibility of being able to pay for school fees. And one of the things that you also have to look at are the requirements for the school fees that you're meant to pay, when you're supposed to pay it, and all that. So the scholarship comes to cover up that uh, cost. So you don't have to be afraid of the cost as long as you are having all the eligibility items or requirements. You meet them, you can really stand for an opportunity to get this.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. So I think for someone that might be scared of applying because of that clause, it's just for you to know that you can apply for the admission even though you are yet to get a scholarship, because showcasing that you are a scholarship is also going to cover for the tuition fees. I guess that's what that part in the requirement is saying. So going to Felix again,
I think
sorry.
maybe before you get also this, you must be able to pay for the application fee. That one I think is non-refundable. You pay for the application fee where you pay for the course for the 4 courses that you're applying for, but
Okay.
it's not really big money. You can really afford it.
All right.
And
So
let me quickly add that clause is not to discourage you. What it means is that for you to qualify to apply for the scholarship, to be eligible, you have to come from a country that is liable to pay school fees in Sweden. That is, you are not a Swedish national, and you are not a member of you are not from a country in the member of the EU, EAA, and Switzerland. That's what it means, that you are from a country that is liable to pay school fees in Sweden. Then the scholarship is for you.
okay. All right. Thank you so much for that clarification. So I hope that clears out any doubt that anyone might be having concerning the scholarship, so you don't get discouraged. Thank you for the addition, Brown. For the next question, which I'm going to direct to Felix, I know you've been able to mentor successful applicants when it comes to SI scholarship. I just want you to walk us through the application process, like starting from how you choose the program at the university. I'm sure you have to apply for admission first. I'm not too sure. Then down to the application itself. What are the timeline, the details that applicants need to look out for to be successful with their application? So thank you for the response to that question.
All right. Thank you once again. So there are two basic process. The first one is the one at university admissions, and the application opens October 16th. That is next week, Thursday, and it will run through till January 16th, where you have the last chance to rank your applications. So when you apply, on October 16th, and then if you need to change your courses or your programs, you have until that 16th till January 16th. After that, you can't change your application. If you change, then your application will be considered late. So it is very important that you go to the master's program list and know which one you are qualified for, because the admission here is very tricky. They don't just look at your bachelor's degree. They look at the key courses that you took in your undergraduate that qualifies you for that master's program. For the fact that you study computer science in Nigeria or in Ghana does not qualify you for masters in computer science in Sweden. What they want to see is the key courses that qualifies you for that master's program. So the first key is to go through the universities, look at the specific requirements, what they need. Then if you qualify, then you can choose those programs, those universities as your choices. Then number two is your transcript. Now there are some countries where you can upload your transcript yourself, while there are some like Nigeria, it have to be sent from your school directly. Otherwise, you will be unqualified. So you have to go to the university admission website and see which one is applicable to your country. So after you have applied for admission and you pay the application fee, they will start processing your application. So by March 26th or 27th, they will publish the admission results, where you get to know if you get admission or not. And you have 4 programs to apply, but you can only get admission in one of the university. You can't get 2 admission. You only get 1 per section. So for the SI scholarship, the application document will be published in November 1st. That is next month. And there are 4 basic documents. We have the CV templates, we have the reference letters templates, proof of work leadership templates, and the motivation letter is always on the application portal. Now, this document application time so that you can gather enough resources, do your own research for you to start your application early. Now, I must state that out of these 4 documents, I stand to be corrected. Out of these 4 documents, the CV is the most important document. Every document is important, but based on my experience and that of my mentees, the CV is the most important document. You have to, put a lot of effort on your CV. Spend a lot of time, crafting your story in your CV. It's very, very, very important. And then after the CV, once you adopt your CV, if your CV is good, the chance of winning the scholarship is very, very high. Your CV must be loaded, not just scanty. It must be loaded. You must state specifically what you did in terms of achievement, using facts and figures to quantify your impact. And also in the CV, there's a part that has to do with your engagement outside of work. It is also very important, because for you to win the SI scholarship, it is believed that you should also be engaged outside your work, maybe belonging to an association or maybe any civil society agency where you carry out maybe like things that have to do with sustainable development. It's very, very important. Now, after the CV, the next most important document is your motivation letter. And the SI motivation letter is so unique that you don't have to tell too much story, because you have a maximum of 1,000 characters to write everything you want to write, including spaces. So there is no point for talking about too much story. Now, there are 4 keys of writing a winning motivational letter as far as the SI letter is concerned. Number 1, have a problem statement. The problem statement has to be very brief, very, very brief. There's no point talking about too much about the problem. You only know that this problem exists. So like what I did in my own, the problem statement is just 1 sentence. All of my mentees is just 1 sentence. So after stating the problem statement, the next thing you have to talk about is how does the master's program empower you to solve this problem, which means you have to go to the master's program and see which modules that are more relevant to solving that problem. So first, the master's, the problem. Second, the master program. How does the master program equip you to solve that problem. Then number three, what are you going to learn from Sweden, that you can go back to your country and implement? Like in my own case, I talk about energy poverty in Nigeria. I talk about how the master program in sustainable energy engineering is going to empower me with skills in solar and wind energy design. And then number three, I talk about the Swedish energy system. Because if you come to Sweden, I mean, access to energy is 100%. They have smart grids. So I also talk about that in my motivation letter, how I'm going to learn from the Swedish energy system and go back to my country and then implement it. And then the fourth point is, how do you intend to put this knowledge gain from Sweden to work? Which means you have to have a short term and maybe a long term goals. How do you intend to put this knowledge gain in Sweden in your organization or in your home country? Then the third document is your reference letters, which is also very, very important. It must be loaded as well. And the reference letters there are 4 questions, I think. Yeah, there are 4 questions. The last one is just optional, but there are 4 questions. The first one to do with, how does this scholarship, helps you to achieve your goals, right? That is the first question. Then the second question to do with, how do you contribute to social change? And then the third question has to do with your leadership skills. So all these questions must be addressed specifically by your referee, not just beating about the bush. They must be addressed specifically by your referee. Then the fourth document, it's not really important, just to prove that, okay, what you are talking about is true. That in all these 4 documents, just like what Charles said, the most important thing, you must know how to speak the language of SI. And the language of SI is the Sustainable Development Goals. For you to win the SI, you have to go and read about the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 of them. You must not know everything, but just read the one that is more specific to your program, to your experience, and note those keywords, because there are many keywords in all of those SDGs. Read about the SDGs and the targets. Let me give you a very practical example that, all the viewers can, put to work. Now, like in my own field, energy engineering, which falls under affordable and clean energy, SDG 7. Now, there are several targets in that SDG. There's one that has to do with energy access. There's one that has to do with energy research. Now, for energy research, I don't have business there because I'm not a teacher. I'm not working in the academia. So I don't have to do something that has to do with energy research. My work has been centered on energy access, expanding access to energy in rural communities. That is where I center on. And that was women the scholarship. I have a friend who graduated before me. He's a lecturer at Ethiopia University. His own was centered on energy research. So because he was a lecturer and he focused on energy research, he was able to win the scholarship. So, for example, if you are a teacher, and you go to the target, is it FDG 4 or 5 that have to do with quality education? There's one that has to do with teachers training, one to do with maybe out of school children. So you have to find a particular target of that SDG that aligns with your experience and use that as a launching point, and then you win the scholarship. So the use of keywords is very, very important. Like in my own case, I talk about energy security, I talk about energy asset, I talk about solar infrastructure. So the use of keyword is very, very important. So I will give you that assignment after this session. Go and read about the SDGs and see the one that is specific to your program. You can even use AI. I can just give a prompt to AI so you can meet all the keyword for FDG 5, for example. And it will give you all the keyword, and you can use them generously in your application, and then it will strengthen your application. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very, very detailed breakdown, starting from the CV, the motivational letter, and the reference letter. I think those are the key. I was so surprised to know that CV is the most, how do I call it, important. No, for most scholarship is always a motivational letter. So it's so interesting to see that is like the order for this very particular scholarship. Thank you so much for the insight. Now, still on the application process, I want to direct my question to Brown. The SI scholarship actually requires you to have 3,000 hours of relevant work experience. And now, with your own long working experience in the agribusiness and farming sector, how were you able to present this and verify your work hours, the responsibility to meet this requirement? Was it as a full-time, part-time, volunteering? Because I know not everybody has that full stretch of 1.5 year working experience. So did you put this together in your application?
Okay, thank you very much. Quickly, let me address the issue of relevant. I'm happy you brought it up, and Mr. Felix also spoke about it earlier. You see, that word relevant is subjective for me, because I know people who uh, studied, for instance, studied agriculture, like, or plant-related courses, worked in the bank for 5 years, and got SI. So it is subjective in the sense that the relevant there is, how do you craft your story? How do you tell your story? How do you convince them? That's the basis. How do you convince them that I studied A, I worked in B, now I want to go and study C? How do you tie the three? How do you draw the line between the three to tell one story that I have a goal? This is where I'm going to. And how does that contribute to SDG? Any of the SDG, maybe one or two, any one you choose that is in your interest. So it's how you tell your story that addresses that issue of relevant. Not to discourage anybody to say, "Oh, my work, I've been working in an area that is not It's basically, you have to sit yourself down and ask yourself questions. You have to interview yourself first before you even start your application process, before you even choose school. That's what I tell people. You have to interview yourself. You have to consider your network experience, your leadership experience, your work experience, your degree, your previous degree, before you will not choose the course you feel that will be able to tell a good story about yourself. So to answer the question of, and quickly, let me also add, because Mr. Charles talked about the degree of graduation, and I believe Mr. Felix actually highlighted earlier that even with a pass, you can get SI scholarship. Now, this is the catch. Your degree, your results, your bachelor's degree is considered at the first stage, which is university admission, when you are applying for school. So if you have a 2-2, for instance, and you go and pick a course that is requiring a 2-1, they will not specify maybe 2-1 or 2-2, but there's a way they calculate their credit. So you have to convert it to our own side and convert it and say, did I meet this mark? If you did not meet it and you go and apply, you will not get the admission. And if you don't get the admission, you will not get the scholarship, because that's the first qualifying stage. So if you have a third class, for instance, it does not mean that you cannot get SI, because at SI level, nobody looks at your result. What they are looking at is, did you get admission? That's what they are interested. It is at the school level that look at your result. So that's where you must be very, very careful. Like Mr. Felix said earlier, aside your degree of graduation, you have to look at the courses. What qualifies you? Some courses, like in my field, they'll tell you have so and so ECTS, which is like our credit system in Nigeria. You have to have so and so ECTS in biology, so and so ECTS in chemistry, so and so ECTS in physics. So it's not by what you read. So you go and look at your transcript. Do I have 15 credits in physics? Do I have 15 credits in chemistry from 100 level to final year? If you don't, you know you are not qualified, whether you have first class or not. And if you apply for that course, there are chances that you will not get it. So that's what you look at first. Now, on the issue of how do you calculate your hours, it's very simple. Full-time work is 8 hours a day. So if you know how many years or how many months you'll be working at a particular place, if it is full-time, you calculate by 8 hours a day. That is around 40 hours a week. That's how you calculate it. If it is part-time, basically part-time work is between 4 to 5 hours. You can use that basis also to calculate, to estimate, that is, to estimate your range of the number of hours you have worked. Then how do you certify it? It's very easy. And before I go to the certification, Also, it does not have to be at a stretch. The requirement does not say that it must be continuous work experience. And it does not even require that you should be working currently. It does not even require that the experience should be what you are doing currently. The relevant experience might be what you've done before. Maybe you've worked before in a place and it was relevant to what you are doing. So SI does not require that you must be working and you must be working in that field. If you have that experience previously, fine. And also, SI is not asking you that if, for instance, someone like me now who has been out of school for 15 years, I've done so many things. I've done a lot of things for 15 years. SI is not saying that all the places I have worked, all the things I have done that are not relevant to what I want to study, that I should go and start mentioning it. Even if it is one thing that is relevant that you have done, that is relevant to the field, and you know that thing you've gotten the required number of hours of 3,000 hours, put that one and leave every other thing. So it is what is relevant you put. What is not relevant to your story, to the story you are telling, you leave it aside.
Okay.
So, like I said, it does not have to be straight. It does not have to be full-time. You can use combination of part-time and full-time. And how do you certify it? You get your employers, whether previous or current, the people you work for or the organization you work for. It's very easy. They are not asking for too much. Just get them your the senior admin officer, maybe your immediate boss or whatever, where you were working there, someone who has the authorization to sign on behalf of that department, maybe your department or the organization. So when you write your proof of work experience, there's a document in the part of the document you gathered, proof of work experience. You have to fill that one yourself. So you fill it, everything you did and all that. Then your employer, your previous or current, depend the organization, you take it to them. The person who is signing signs, put their name, signs, and put the official stamp of the organization, just the stamp, bottom of the page. That's also how you certify your references. That's also how you certify your leadership and your participation in civil society or networks outside of work. Now, these things are for me, they are as relevant as every other thing, because SI wants to see is global professional. To be a professional, you must have led in one way or the other. Then they want to also see your life outside work, your civil society participation, contributions, and all that. So in all of this, I think you just need 2,000 hours for leadership or so. I don't think it's mandatory. Yeah. Just put what you need, you have there. So that's how you certify it. And so you might be asking, I'm self-employed. I don't work for anybody. How do I certify it? That's me. I own my farm. I was not working for anybody. So I'm self-employed. So SI also makes room for you if you are self-employed. So if you are self-employed, the guidelines state the people who in your organization or the people you deal with who can sign for you. Clients, your clients, the people you service, maybe you are in a service industry or whatever, your clients can sign for you. Then a staff, if you are self-employed and you had the opportunity of employing other staff in your organization, a staff who has a supervisory or leadership role can sign for you. In my own case, it was a staff, my supervisor, my farm supervisor, who signed my document. So that's all you need. Then you must have a stamp. Even if you are self-employed, if you don't have a stamp, you go and make a stamp for your organization. You must have a stamp. That stamp is, for me, the stamp is the most important thing in all those documents. Because if you see they gave almost a paragraph, half a page to the issue of stamp. So for me, it is very important to them. So no matter what you do, don't say this company or this organization is a big name, but I cannot get access to their stamp. If you cannot get access to the stamp, then you have to use another organization. Because no matter how big the name of the organization is, if the stamp is not there, that document will not be considered.
Thank you so much for the details. Like, I love the energy that you guys are bringing on board this evening. Even though I wanted to make it 1 hour, at least we've not even gotten to half of all the question, and 15 minutes is gone. So, to the audience in the house, I hope you are enjoying our session. We might likely extend a bit over our scheduled time. Please, I think it's for the best of interest of everyone. So kindly bear with us. My next question is going to go to Charles, and that's about the leadership aspect of the application. So, what practical tips can you share for applicants to effectively demonstrate leadership and impact in their essay? Like, I want you to give us like a very, very practical answer to that aspect, because so many people like they miss it on this aspect. Yeah. We can't hear you. I think you've muted yourself. We can't hear you, Charles. No.
How about now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Concerning the leadership background, you have to be in position to share what you've been doing. What are some of the community contributions that you've been doing? That is one area. Like what Brown is saying, that he has been working on this farm and also looking at the clients that he have, the biggest client, the big clientele he has, also stands out for him to show that he has been a sustainable leader and also offering services to the community and maybe impacting some community that where he's working or he was living. Two, you also have to show your leadership experience in the place where you work. If you are not self-employed, especially those who are being employed, you must prove to the SI scholar team that you've been having a certain leader. I mean, you've been a certain leader in a certain organization. You've been leading a certain team of people, and you've been all sitting down, working as a team to drive sustainable changes within the communities or within the society that you are really working in. Like me, I was leading a certain project and I had about 4 members that I was working with. And I had to demonstrate that I was having these formal meetings. I was trying to look at the plans that we have for the project. We were looking at also the monitoring plans. What is the evaluation like? And how do you bring all that information into the solutions that you offer in the community? So you have to show the impact that you have uh, made in the community, say the total number of people as a team, you'll be working together to get this number of people, maybe get access to clean and safe water. So you have to be sure that you quantify your impact, but at the same time show the teamwork that you have demonstrated to bring about that impact. So even in the community, you might be a leader who is driving societal changes, maybe in policy, maybe in community groups that really work on a particular issue, that you really demonstrate that. So in your work, you have to be in position to show your skills as a leader, leading a team, leading a certain group of people that are driving changes. You can also become an inspiration. You can also be an inspiration leader. You might not be on the forefront of leadership, but you might be an inspiration. Say maybe you come up with the research that informs a certain activity that drives impact. So in some way, you are also making a change within a community. So as long as you have some impact within the community, either directly or indirectly, this scholarship is for you, and you have to be sure that you harvest all those successes into your application. Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that response. So it just mean like because so many people will be like, I've not lead anything before, so not to make get you discouraged. So look into those little things that can help you, like show your leadership skills. So it's very important. I wanted to go on to the next part, which is how to craft the motivation letter, but I don't want us to go into details because I know Felix addressed that, which was he mentioned four key things they want to see in your motivational letter, which is just a maximum of 1,000 characters. So in case you missed that part, you can just try to watch it over again. So thank you so much. I'll just redirect the next question to Brown, which is about the recommendation letter, because I know that's another key component of the application. So, Brown, based on your experience, how should applicants choose their referees? I think that's the important thing, one. And what information should they provide to ensure that those letters reflect their professional and leadership potential? So, I think that's a very key questions that people need to be aware of.
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, how do you choose your referees, your two referees? I think LSI has told you from the beginning. The good thing with SI scholarship is that they make it so simple by telling you this is what we want, this is what we want, because the document, the guidelines is so detailed that if you sit down, you read it, you know what they're asking of you. They've told you that one of your referees should be from work, and the second referee should be from your participation in civil societies or networks. And it is just that two they're asking for. So from work, maybe you have 2 or 3 work experiences. What it means is that you have to look at one you feel, okay, this is the most relevant field or place where I work. This should write it. Then for your network or civil society, same thing, you choose one. If you have several networks or civil society, just like myself, I had several, so I chose one. Now, like I will tell people, it's not about SI. For me, it's about scholarship or any application in general when it comes to references. Sometimes you can have a very solid application and your referees will mess them up for you. Not because they hate you, but because they don't know what the scholarship institution or the organization wants from them.
Yeah.
So it's very, very tricky for you to just say, sir, ma, please, I need reference for you for this. You won't blame them if they write what they feel is okay and hand it to you. Now, this is how I approach it, and this is how I advise people, not just for SI, for if you are applying for any scholarship, grants, or anything that has to do with referee. Just bear few minutes and seconds to understand this, why you have to do it this way. In your interaction with people, there are different sides of you that the person you are interacting sees. Different sides of you. Maybe your leadership, your the way you do things, the way you respond to stress, the way you handle issues and all that. Now, if you are applying for a scholarship or something that wants to see how you respond to leadership, like how you lead, and you give it to your referee that does not know, and the referee go and writes how hardworking you are and submit, your chances become higher. Your referee does not hate you, neither has your referee lied. It is the truth. It is what your referee remembers, or one of the things he knows about you. But he does not know that that is not what they are looking for. It is another thing they are looking for. So for me, I think SI has already done it, like put checks and balances by asking that the person who is writing it, we have to write his or her name, sign, and put stamp. So what it means, like how I did mine and how I encourage people to do yours, you tell your referee, this is what I want to do. You are my referee. I say, fine. Then you go and write according to your story. The things that are true, not lie, because if you write lie and give to your referee, we know that it's a lie, that you are not this person. So you write it, you give it to your referee that this and this is what they are looking for, or this and this is what will tell my story. This is what I want you to highlight about me. These are the areas I want you to talk about me. So you give it to your referee, and he use that template to write a reference that will suit you. You are not lying, your referee is not lying, but you are only tailoring and guiding your referee to the area the institution or the scholarship body is interested in. So they write and they certify it and give it to you, and your chances are higher. So I would not recommend you just give, because I know a lot of persons have missed opportunities by just your referee will just write 1 or 2 lines, 3 lines, because sometimes he or she is busy, they have their own responsibilities, they have their own work, and maybe a lot of persons also come to them for same purpose. So they just write a generic statement, blah, 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 and hand it over for you. So for me, that is how you should approach the issue of references.
Thank you very much for that details. I really enjoy everything. Like, that's just the absolute way, whichever scholarship you're applying for. Because most of the time, those people don't know what each of these scholarship is looking for. Some people just give you generic letter to whom it may concern. So it's very important that they direct it, the address should go to that very particular scholarship, and they should even mention the name of that scholarship, so it shows that they know you, they know what they are looking out for on behalf of that scholarship. So that's a very, very key thing. You are not lying, your referee is not lying. I love that point. They are tailoring, they are positioning you for that opportunity. So it's very, very important that we note this. Don't just choose a random person. Someone that can vouch for you, someone that can attest to your leadership skill is very, very important for whatever application you are putting in for. Thank you for that insight about the recommendation letter. So my next question goes to Felix. And as we are rounding up, I just want you to give us a breakdown on this question. So, Felix, I know you've mentored a lot of people, you've reviewed application documents and the likes. So, what are those common mistakes that you see in people's motivation letter, their CV, and other application documents? And how can applicants actually avoid them? I think it's very important we address this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I've reviewed several documents. Even currently, I've reviewed some documents. What I see is that, is lack of consistency in those documents. For you to win SI, all your documents must be consistent. Your CV, your motivation, in fact, everything has to be consistent. Let me give an example. One of my mentees that is studying global health in KI, he has been trying SI for some time. And when I saw his document last year, now his CV references are talking about environmental health, but his motivation letter is talking about human health. You can see the inconsistency. I say, guy, how can you exercise scholarship with this kind of document? I say, it's not possible. So we have to start from the scratch and ensure that everything is centered on the environmental health, both his motivation, CV, reference letters. The guy is in Sweden today. He's even in Stockholm. So your document must be consistent. Everything. You can't be talking about A in your CV and your reference talking about B in your reference letters. So everything has to be what? Consistent. Then number 2, you have to be very specific on what you did in your CV. And if you have the opportunity for your reference letters, be specific on what you did. Don't talk about too many things. No. If you're talking about, for example, plastic pollution, focus on that. Don't talking about plastic pollution and then you now migrate into waste management. Be specific. Don't be talking about too many things, in your reference letters or in your CV or in your motivation letter. Just focus on one thing and hit it 100%, and then your chances will increase. And then the next point is the fact that You have to use keywords, that I said, that are relevant to SDG. Everything you're talking about must be linked to SDG, to sustainability. That is the key. That is the language of XI that they want to hear. No matter how good your essay is, if it's not linked to SDG, I mean, then your chances will be what? Will be low. So make your research and let your CV be well loaded. Because, like, when I was writing my application, one of my mentees, I mean, we are even dragging with space. Now, like for the CV, for example, where you have like 3 spaces to fill in your education, the most important part is your BSc. Remove any other thing so that you can utilize every space to highlight about your achievements, both at work and in your network engagement. Let me give you two scenarios as I round up. Let's say, for example, I said maybe I build schools, I sponsor 10 people, I feed the poor. That is my achievement. It's good. But if I say, before I came into the office, there was no schools, people are suffering, uh, people are not eating. So I came into power, I made this thing on ground. And within 3 months, I partnered with social agency and they fund my NGO. And I was able to sponsor people to school, feed the poor, build schools. You can see the two different scenarios. In other words, states give a picture of the scenario that you met on ground and then what you did and the impact. Don't just talk about the impact. Okay, maybe I build schools, I fed people, I gave people scholarship. No, give a picture, the bad picture of the situation you met on ground, and then what you did with your team, maybe through collaboration, through funding, and then the impact of what you did. And this thing will strengthen your application.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful insight. I think that's just it, consistency. Make sure that whatsoever you are saying in your CV is the same with your reference letter, is the same with your motivational letter. So thank you so much. And in case you have any other details, I think I've provided you with top-notch scholars on Sweden, so you can. We are going to take questions soon, but if we cannot cover everything here, you can always reach out to them to address your concerns. But the last session I just want to focus on is life as a Swedish Institute scholar. So now you've gone through the application process and fortunately you got the congratulation emails. What should we expect as life as an SI scholar? So I'm going to start with Charles. So what does the SI scholarship actually covers? I think it covers some things and it doesn't cover some things. So can you just give us a brief insight to what SI scholarship covers and what it does not cover? I can hear you again.
Okay. But now you can hear me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. What the scholarship covers is a question. It covers your tuition. One, it covers your living out expenses, which is a stipend, and also it covers your insurance, your health insurance. Yeah. So when you come here, you make sure that you apply for your insurance, but once you reach the site, it becomes mandatory to follow through everything that is required for you to access most of these things. But also another thing is around the visa application. Yeah, so when you get the scholarship, as long as you get that notification of the offer, you just accept it, the offer, and then you use that letter at the Swedish agency in your country to access a visa. So it covers your visa, it covers your air ticket, it covers your stipend, and also your tuition.
Wow,
Yes.
that's a very great package. But I think it doesn't cover like health insurance or something like that. All right. So just to be very clear, it covers your visas, your flights, your stipends, your tuition fee, and that's a very robust offer, to be honest. Okay, because of our time, I want to throw the next question to Brown. So, what does life as a Swedish institute scholar? What does it look like for you since you are like academically, socially? How does the community support you beyond the financial aspect?
Well, for us, we've not locally. Maybe it's because of the campus where I am, where we're situated. SLU, Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences, has so many campuses all over Sweden. So it's not like some universities where they are all uh, come together, and it is purely agriculture. So it's specialized. So we are not so much. And where we are located is kind of that is a nice place, but very calm. So we are not so much on campus, but generally the suites are calm, good people. You don't need to explain yourself that you are a student or whether you are on scholarship or not. When you need assistance, you need help, you ask anybody question, just let them know that you don't speak or understand Sweden, and they are very very uh, ready to assist you, to help you. I think one of the cultural shock I've seen since coming is the fact that someone is unable to help you, and the way and manner they apologize for not being able to help you. Like I'll like, come on, like they just keep apologizing. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because they were unable to help you. And you know where we're coming from. You have to beg to. You have to first say sorry or please before you can even ask for help. So that's on the light side anyway. But my advice to anybody who intends to come to Sweden to study, do all that you can to come on the SI scholarship. It is very, very important. It takes away the stress, the anxiety that goes with coming to a new country or settling down. It takes away the financial burden of thinking about school fees, thinking about, I have to quickly look for work. Let me start working. Let me start making money because school fees will be due soon by December. So it takes all that away. It gives you that pleasure to enjoy the moment, to enjoy the flow, to sip in everything, because come on, you really don't have any problem when it comes to finances, because the moment you arrive and you let them know that I have arrived, in fact, the welcome package they will give to you, in fact, it is enough to settle anybody. Like what they give to you, like you have arrived, the welcome package they give to you, is more than enough. So it's more or less like you are on vacation. That's what it is. So you apart from the academics, like the academics in Sweden is not what you are hearing when you come here. By the special grace of God, I pray for all those that are applying. You come here, the system here is tough. It's tough. When I mean tough, I mean it by every stretch of the word is tough. So you have to be prepared. And being on scholarship is the biggest and best consolation you can ever have, because when you are stressed academically, you remember, SI is paying me more to school and they will send me money, so you'll be calm and you'll be happy.
All right, thank you so much for that. I think you've really, really covered so many things that I would even love to ask later on. So I think with that, I most people should be aware, like you have that supportive environment, even when you are stressed out mentally, you have somewhere to relax and ease that stress. Like you have friends, community, maybe African community, even with the Swedish people as well, just to have that family support beyond the financial one. So thank you so much for reinforcing that message again. And my final message is going to go to Felix. So I know you've been able to build networks in terms of your field. You've gotten the SI leadership and everything. So what kind of professional and opportunities has the SI scholarship opened for you? So now beyond okay the studies, the masters, and what's other opportunities out there as SI open for you? Being an SI scholar, yeah.
Yeah, being an SI scholar, is very amazing because they give you this opportunity to develop, your leadership skills. Every year, they organize the self leadership training for SI scholars to apply, where you are trained by a different organization on leadership skills. So it give you the opportunity, to meet different people from different companies and to also meet other SI scholars, from other universities. And again, being an SI scholar, there's a way companies in Sweden look at you. It give you that advantage. Most when I tell people that I'm an SI scholar, you mean, they sponsor us? I say, yeah. So it gives you that advantage over those who are not on scholarship. So when you put that SI scholar on your maybe on your LinkedIn or your CV, and maybe you attend an interview and they see that, it shows that you are a professional applicant, and they give you that respect, even at the university. Your school, maybe your program director, they give you that honor that this person is an SI scholar. So the scholarship give you the opportunity to network, with other fellow scholars, and the capability for you to increase, in terms of your profession, skills, problem solving, and all that. So it gives you this, vast opportunity for you to explore if you are interested.
Yeah, thank you so much for your response. I really appreciate every one of you. I think this is one of the sessions that we had a very smooth flow, no technical issues and everything. Your time. Um, Now we'll go into the comment sessions to take questions and answer. So thank you, Charles. Thank you, Brown. Thank you, Felix. You already did a lot of justice on how to navigate the Swedish Institute Scholarship. And just to address concerns that everyone has in the comments, even though our time is fast spent. So I'll just take random questions. Sorry for those that might not be able to take their questions. So the first question is saying when I think we've answered this, it's going to come up on your screen anyway. It says when applying for admissions, do certain university requires certain requirement like a CV and motivational letter? Brown, what do you think?
Yes, that's why you have, like I said, is in two stages. What happened? What when from on the 16th of October? It is purely university admission. It does not have anything to do with scholarship. So your first headache is, let me select courses that I'm qualified for, that I will be admitted for. So the Swedish university admissions pattern is unique in the sense that with one application fee in one application round, you can apply to up to 4 or 5 courses depending on, but basically 4 courses, whether in the same university or different university. That one is your concern, but it is 4 program. Yeah, 4 program. You have the entitlement to apply to 4 program. Now, when it comes to the issue of CV or motivation letter, if any if any of the 4 program you picked, 1, 2, 3, 4, any of them that you picked, you check the requirements in the university website or program website or department website. There are links. You don't need to look for it. Once you click it, just be following the progression. Look for the requirement. Now, if any of the program needs a CV or any of them need a motivation letter or reference letter, a letter from referee, what it therefore means is that you have to get those documents and upload on your dashboard, just as you're uploading your passport and I think your certificate. So you also upload it. Now, if you don't do that, it therefore means automatically that you are not qualified for that program that requires it. You understand? So if maybe your third program requires it and you did not put it, you are not qualified. So it means you will not be considered for that third program. Maybe your first program of choice does not require it. So it does not stop you from getting your first program of choice because that's what you'll be considered for. at first. It is when you are not qualified for your first program of choice, then they will look at number 2. If you are not qualified for number 2, they will look at number 3. If you are not qualified for number 3, they will look at number 4. That is how it works. So, but if you pick 4 programs like I did, my programs, the 4 programs I picked, I picked the remaining 3 just to complete the 4, because I knew it is the number 1 I wanted. So I just picked that one, and I made sure that, because I didn't want to go through research on motivation and all those ones, I picked other programs that did not require any of those things. So you will not need to put it. So the long and short of the answer is, it depends on your program. Generally, Sweden they are not interested, but if your program says they want it, then you have to put it there.
Thank you so much for that clarification. And I actually forgot to acknowledge our audience. Thank you everyone for staying with us for the past 1 hour. I think we still have like 40 people joining us online. Thank you so much. And if you have I'm seeing a lot of questions, just keep it coming, keep it rolling. So I'll keep displaying it for our speakers to see, and they can also answer the question. So Aruna is asking, can someone with a master's degree already apply for another master's degree? Charles, do you have something to say on that? Just in 1 minute or in 1 second, let us know if
Yeah,
it's possible.
yes, you can apply. That is, if you want to, as long as you don't show that you have a master's. You just have to consider the exact requirement that is required for, because every course has its own, but also the SI scholarship has a specific requirement. So you just concentrate on what is required for, and then you apply. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love the way you actually, if you are still interested, you can apply. Thank you for that. So I have another question from Charles, and I'm going to direct this to Felix. Charles is asking, I have applied for SI scholarship twice and I've received admission in animal science. I should ask Brown instead, because I know it's from Swedish University. Okay, let's direct it to Brown. So in both instances, but without scholarship, so I was declined. So Charles is now asking, am I still eligible to apply? Brown, 1 minute, please.
Yes, the simple answer is yes. If you attended the SLU, the moment they give admission in March and early April, the Zoom and all those things SLU organized, a lot of people asked the question, and the simple answer was yes. Even if you have been given admission and you could not make it, you did not come, it does not affect your chances in the next admission cycle. So if you still pick SLU in your next admission cycle, they will still consider you for that program. And if you qualify, and I believe you qualify since you have gotten it twice, you will still be given. Because SLU, I think, is the only, I don't know, maybe SLU tells you that, in fact, if you know you don't have the school fees for the 4 semesters, they are so blunt. They tell you, don't come. If you know you cannot pay the school fees for the first semester, don't come, decline. You can try when you have the money. So they are so blunt. Because they don't want you to come, because they know how stressful the program is. They want you to come and be having a financial issue. So the simple answer is yes. You don't worry about that. You can always apply.
All right, thank you so much. So Aruna, you can always connect with Brown, because since he's in the Swedish Agricultural University, you can reach out to him. So although he's still asking that, does the work hours have to be after school, or internship and unpaid work counts towards this? Felix, maybe you can shed more light about the work hours.
Yeah, so I mean, based on the SIA website, I mean, internship is not considered work. All right, I'm quoting what SI said on their frequently asked question. So internship is not a work. So except you find a way and say, okay, maybe it's a part-time job, fine and good. But if you put internship, I mean, it is not considered. So for you to verify what I'm telling you, you can go to the SI website. It's there. It is not considered work. It has to be after your graduation or maybe during your school. It could be a part-time. It's good, but not internship.
Okay, Thank you very much for that. Then the next question is coming from Che. Yeah, I should be able to get that correctly. So she's saying, I have a background in banking and finance and currently working as a teller in a microfinance in my community. Before taking me as a teller, I volunteered with the institution and had the opportunity to partake in a project called FODEC, which is a government-sponsored project to subsidize cocoa farmers. As a result of my hard work in this project, I was recruited as a teller where I currently work. Am I eligible to apply for SI? Brown, I know he's an agricultural person, so I think we have a
In
lot
fact,
of.
in fact, my simple answer to you is that you are the right candidate for SI. You are the person, the kind of is someone like you or people like you that SI is actually looking for. So you have, in fact, all you have to do now is just pick a program that aligns with what you've just told us now and tell a perfect story about yourself, and you are very sure of getting it.
Thank you very much. So, Chair, that's a very good response from Brown. So he's trying to tell you like you are the perfect candidate they are looking for. So just make sure you go for it. And Maris is saying, is church a valid civil society? I'm not sure I
Yes,
understand.
yes, let me answer that. Yes, church is a valid civil society and network. In fact, that's what I use. I use my church for everything. It is very valid. Don't be scared. Because I know a lot of people say, why will you use church and all that? All you have to do is get your pastor or the head of your church or stamp. Stamp. That is the most important thing. So, yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So you can hear that, Maris. So that sort it out. This is Ephraim, and I think we've also answered this question. So you can always apply for the scholarship, even if um even if you've been admitted for the third time. So I don't want us to waste time on that. They've answered that question. Um, Victoria is asking, and I'm going to direct this to Charles. Can being a class representative during undergraduate fill in for leadership experience? So, Charles, what's your response to this?
Um, I will just liken it to internship. Yes, you can put in other leadership experiences like that, but what they really want to see is the leadership that drives societal impact. Within the school community, yes, it is okay. It can feature as other leadership, but they want to see what leadership you portray in the society and drives impact for sustainability.
All right, thank you so much. So, Maris and Onibel, I think your question has been answered concerning the church. I intentionally displayed it so you can know that we acknowledge your questions. This is another question from Joel. He's saying, I have publications on high impact factor journals. I am completing my MSc. How would I leverage this for the application? Felix, can you give us an insight into this?
Yeah, I think for your publication, you can add that in the scholarship or award section of your CV, but it doesn't really count. I mean, what they want to see is how you drive sustainable change in your organization or outside of work. So even if you don't have publication, I mean, it doesn't matter. What they want to see, how does your professional work experience or your engagement in civil society organization contributes to sustainable development? That is the most important thing.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. This is someone that is actually, how do I call it, like complimenting you. So, Najite, thank you for how you do in ensuring students win SI scholarship. I stumbled on the guide you provided, very detailed and helpful. Thank you, bro. See you in Sweden next year. So, thank you so much on behalf of every other person I've gone through your scholarship guide. I'm going to take the next one from Victoria. It says, also being a part of a team that tutored students during undergraduate, does it also serve as leadership experience and contributing to civil society? Brown, what do you think?
Yes, it serves. See, there's one thing I miss or I did not talk about when I was talking about telling your story. You see, because of the way the CV is structured, and the fact that you'll be giving guidelines, 3 pages, it must not exceed. And in that 3 pages, it's not about what you want to talk about. As I have told you what they want you to talk about, so you have to follow it. So because of that, most times you cannot outline everything you are involved in your CV. You cannot. There's no space. In my own case, there are so many things I am involved in terms of civil society networks and all that, but there was no space for it in my CV. So what did I do? Now, in the other part of your document, you try to highlight them, like maybe in your civil society, your proof of your reference letter from your civil society. So you try to use one of those questions to highlight those things. So in this, your own case, you tutored children, you tutored people and all that. So this is a veritable tool for how you contribute to societal changes, your impact to society. And this can come up during your referencing on civil society. How do you drive social impact? How do you drive change? So it can be one sentence, it can be one statement, but just put it there. So it does not need to be in your CV. But the goal is that everything is telling a story about yourself, what you want them to know, that I am a professional, I am concerned about so and so when it comes to sustainability, if it is food. So everything should be tailored to food production. So just tell that story and use every of your document, use it to the best of your advantage.
That's just it. So thank you. Thank you so much. Gift is asking for the case of document authentication. Another option provided was for it to be certified by a public notary if your reference does not have an official stamp. Is it an option one should explore? Charles?
Concerning the reference, I'm afraid to say no, because the reference really comes from your work on your job placement, where you really worked, and most of the documents that they look for authentication are majorly those personal documents like your birth certificate, your transcript, your certificates. But when it comes to references, you really need to look for an organization where you worked and they have an official stamp, like Brown said earlier.
Okay, so that means the person just needs to use the stamp from the organization, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
I don't think Charles got the question right. The person is asking, in the place of stamp, SI provided an alternative, which is using a notary public, as it is said. So I didn't use it, but since SI themselves stated it, that you can authenticate your reference, your proof of work, your proof of leadership experience by using a notary public, I think it is possible. But for me, my advice would be it will be a long stress. So going to notary public, doing the notarization or something how they call it, then maybe you have to transcribe if it is not in English or that. So why not just look for an organization or institution that has a stamp and get it done with and move ahead?
All right. Thank you so much. I'm trying to just scroll through the chat and I'm seeing so many questions and I'm trying to see if we can just finish up with it. Okay. Ayo Tomide is asking concerning the issue of transcripts. I think maybe he used it last year. He applied last year. So he's just asking if he needs to resend another transcript from his university or they can use the one he sent last year. I don't know if Felix wants to help us with that.
Okay, just to add to the previous question, I think you can use notary, but I think if the company doesn't have a stamp, you can you can ask if you can do a stamp for them. And if they accept, I mean, 5K, 6K can do a good stamp, and you also contribute a change to the company by doing a stamp for them. Then coming to this second question, I mean, you don't have to send another transcript. It's already in the dashboard. So just apply, pay the application fee, and you are good to go.
Okay. I'm going to direct this question to you again, Felix. Someone is saying, how can I build my profile for SI scholarship? And this time around, I'm not sure if this is about academic profile or leadership. I don't know if this is clear to you. So if you want to just answer briefly.
Yeah, so I think the profile has to do with maybe the entire document. If you're on LinkedIn, go to my page. I have a guide, a comprehensive guide that if you are wise enough, study it, and with your personal research, you win the scholarship. So in the guide, I put everything there, the SDG, and I even give samples of CV, motivation letter, references. Follow that same guide, and you will have a very robust SI profile that can, stand you a good chance of winning the scholarship.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So for everyone that is online, like if you are following, is one of those things on his featured page. So you can just search for his name on LinkedIn, it's going to bring it out. And once you get to his profile, you see this guide on his featured session. So you can go through it if you need more details about the SI scholarship. Someone is asking, can you elaborate more on the ECT system? And I think it was Felix that mentioned something around ECT, like maybe the calculation from 2-1 or 2-2. I don't know. Is that something you mentioned?
Yeah, I think it's very easy. Like there are two kinds of ACTS. There's one for program and there's one for courses. We all know that, okay, like in Nigeria, our bachelor's degree is 4 years, 5 years. In Sweden, yeah, 1 year is equivalent to 60 ACTS. So most of the programs require at least 180 ACTS, which means that your bachelor's degree should be at least 3 years. All right. So if you have a bachelor degree that is 3 years or 4 years, you are qualified for a program. Then coming to the specific programs, for example, they may say, okay, they require maybe 15 ECTS of programming if you are going for computer science. Yeah, that you have to maybe do some little calculation. I can't really tell you the formula now, but maybe you can chat me up later. I can tell you how to do this ECTS calculation for specific courses. Maybe if they require maybe 15 ECTS of maybe mathematics, and you want to be sure if that is available in your transcript. So there's a formula for that. We can help you with that maybe after the session.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Mohammed is asking, the organization I work for does not have an official website. I don't know if that's part of the requirement. Will this affect the acceptance of my scholarship application, Brown?
Okay, let me just
Okay.
this question. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Even if you like use World Bank, it doesn't make you that even the scholarship. My nephew that won the scholarship, studying computer science and Leadership University, there is no website, no official email. We all use Gmail all through, and you won the scholarship. The main thing is those stamps. That is what authenticates your documents. Once you have those stamps on your documents, you are good to go.
All right. So thank you so much. So there is no emphasis on websites rather than the stamp itself. So just take note of that. Someone is saying, I have a question. Do I need O-level results to apply for masters? Brown, what do you want to say about that?
No, what you need to upload to your dashboard on university admission is your passport, your degree certificate. There's nobody is asking you for your O level. Then your ID, like NIN, yeah, basically. Then the fourth is transcript, but you can't upload that by yourself. Your university has to send it to them, and once they receive it, they will update it on your dashboard that they've received your transcript. So basically, that's all that's all you need. So if you now choose a program that is now asking for CV, asking for motivation letter, then you now add it to it.
Okay, all right, that's good. Felix, somebody is asking about NYSC experience, and does it count for the work experience if it's your related field?
The truth is that Sweden doesn't even know what NYC is. Yes. So there is no point saying that it's NYC. Just say it's, I mean, professional experience.
Exactly.
Yes, don't talk about that. They don't know what NYC is in Sweden. So they'll say it's your working experience. So maybe 1 year, you are good to go. So it's okay. Don't put NYC. They don't know NYC here.
And to
Okay.
quickly add to that, I think the key is this: check the date you graduated. That's the date on your certificate when you left school. Now, any work, because you cannot say you were working while you were in school and all that, so that would not. But from the day you left school, any work you did that has proof is part of your working experience, whether NYSC or not. You don't need to put NYSC there.
Yeah. Okay. So thank
Okay,
you very.
just to add again, in terms of working in school, you can say you're working part time. Like my nephew, who studied computer science at University of Jos. He was teaching in the computer training center. Part time. So we used that one as part of his work, and then after graduation, then that was the first work experience. So if you have a part time job, you can also use the SI create room too for part-time job, but the calculation is different from the normal full-time job.
Okay, thank you so much for that, for the clarification. Temitope is asking, I'm not sure if I understand this question. He's saying, is it necessary my four selected courses have to be one? I don't know if any one of you understand that and would want to answer. I don't understand.
I think what the person is saying is that you have a course in mind and you just choose that same course for the four options. For me, there's no need why you should do that. Even if your first choice is what you really want and you have seen, you've checked that you qualify for it, then there's nothing stopping you from having look for other courses, three other courses, and just put them there. But in my own case, like what I did, the course I'm doing has two options. My particular course, plant biology and sustainable production, it has two options. There's the option for plant protection and breeding for climatic changes. That's the option I'm doing. That's what I wanted. So that was my first choice. Then the second option is biotic and abiotic, whatever that you understand. So it's same program but different options. So I put that as number two. Then what I should advise, what we've failed to or forgotten to tell you, is that your four selected programs, they should align. No, they should, even if it's not the same university or whatever, they should be in one direction. You cannot go and pick option A in plant biology and go and pick your second option in banking and finance, your third option in engineering and all that, because it shows that you don't even know what you want. You don't know where you are going to. And when the scholarship application opens, when the scholarship applications open, I think before you even get to the part of motivation and all that, on your dashboard, there are some questions. Like, I don't know, that's what they did for us this year. There are some questions you need to answer. So they'll be asking you, does your first option, as in they'll ask you your first option, which area, which field does it align with? So my first option is agriculture, STEM, and biology. So imagine if my second option is talking about education, blah 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 blah. So it means that you are already inconsistent. So you should pick courses that when you are answering that questions, it will be the same thing, even if it's not the same thing, but they will be related, maybe little differences.
All right, thank you for that. I'm just trying to rush so that it won't be like I favored some people in answering their questions and the others goes unattended. So I'm trying to answer everybody's question. So Charles, I'm going to rephrase this person's question. That's Fortune. So I think he studied mechanical engineering, but he doesn't have maybe leadership or networking experience in that field. So what advice can you do? Is saying, is it compulsory? I think that's what he's trying to ask. That is leadership experience should align with his academic background. What do you think on that?
With the background in your academics, they only tie to your course that you do majorly, because with the course that you apply for, it also shows the different course units maybe you must have done in your bachelor's under development, undergraduate. So when you get admission to it, then on the scholarship, they majorly look at what impact have you done through your leadership. So it can be either in your field of studies, but majorly looking at your professional networks and leadership skills displayed there. So with the undergraduate, majorly helps you to get some course units that align with the course that you're applying for at master's. And then your leadership skills, they just give you an alignment to what the scholarship is looking for,
Okay.
as long as you are awarded a master's.
Okay. All right. That's good. So I hope that answers the questions for the person that asked anyway. So Adekunle is asking about I think maybe the gap between the first program she did and a PSC with 7 years work experience. So Felix, she's asking, do I qualify for the scholarship? What if I finish HND in
Yeah, I
2018?
think you overqualify for the scholarship because already you've been working. So it doesn't matter if you graduated 2024, and you'll be working with your HND. So you overqualify, you have the work experience. So it doesn't matter, you overqualify for the scholarship. Yeah, I even have someone that graduated last year in our SIS scholarship group last year, and she won solar energy engineering. So I was wondering, she graduated last year and she won the SIDC. So it does center on how you tell your story. And in your own case, you have the work experience. So, I mean, you're qualified for the scholarship.
All
Just tell
right.
your story very well and tie it down to sustainability.
Thank you very much. So your story matters. So just tell your story and put it together. Brown Oyinlola is asking, can I apply for animal physiology course? I searched for it but couldn't find any animal physiology, maybe in the SLU program. I don't know where she searched for it anyway.
Well, well, SLU is very big when it comes to veterinary medicine or agric, but unfortunately, that part of SLU is not where I am. The veterinary aspect of the department of SLU is not in this campus, but I'm aware that uh, I think one of the two things that sells or three things that SLU majors on is their veterinary, agroecology, plant biology, and their landscape architecture. So I don't know. I've not just searched for this course, but I feel if you search, you will see animal physiology. And if maybe they don't have that course or that program, animal physiology, you can look for something that is related, that is close by. Then you go to the program page. Maybe you are looking for a name, the name animal physiology, but SLU might have a program that is doing that, but not with that title, animal physiology. So you can go through their program pages and see what they are really into.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Most people they think it's the same course, but the way they title it might be different. For someone like now, you studied animal breeding and genetics. Erasmus changed the name this year to animal biodiversity and genomics. It's a different name, but almost the same context. So you should watch out. That's why I think Felix was saying keywords. Try to make your search with keyword, not necessarily the one you know or you are aware of. So just play around with keywords. I want to direct this to Felix. I'm not sure I understand this question properly, but I think the person is trying to know if he can use the previous admission he had, like the previous year, to still qualify for admission this year. I don't know. You can read it yourself. but
Okay, but I think that if you have admission maybe last year and you didn't come, then you have to apply for a fresh application and pay the application fee. So everything of last year or last section is over. So you have to apply for a fresh application, choose your programs, rank them, and pay the application fee. That of last year will not be considered either by the university or by SI scholarship. You need a new application.
Okay. All right. So I just have two more questions, and I think I'll wrap it up because it seems we are not going to finish on time here. Charles, do you want to answer this question? She says, can we see the document already uploaded on the university admission website? I think you should see it if you upload it. Charles, what do you think?
Yes, you are able to see them because below it you have the section for the courses you've applied for, and then below it are the uploaded documents. That is your passport, your transcript, your certificate. That's if you also need you to share your ID and also the CV. So all those documents are there. You'll see them. You'll be able to see them.
Okay, thank you so much. And for Brown, somebody is asking, is there any information you can provide for SI scholarship for women in STEM? Is it a different scholarship? Because I don't think they specify. I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes, pioneering women in STEM. That's the name of the scholarship. The benefits are the same. Everything is the same, but the difference is this: is specifically for females in sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So in this one, you if you are not in this field, you don't qualify. So if you're in humanities and social science, banking, you don't qualify. So sciences, sciences is broad. It could be biology, it could be chemistry, it could be sciences generally, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Then my understanding of the selection process, as I've checked it out sometimes, is that it is actually the university you apply to that we choose or select. I think that's my understanding. So when you apply when you apply at university admission to a program, then you will not notify your university that you are interested in the pioneering women in STEM. So I think they do the selection. So if they do the selection, it will now be looking more like the school scholarship system. And you and I know that the school scholarship system most time places a lot of emphasis on your academics, that is your results of graduation, like your degree results. So, but the good thing is you can apply for both. So you can apply for the pioneering women in STEM and still apply for the SI scholarship for global professional. Nothing stops you. So if you are a lady who is in STEM, for me, it's double advantage. So apply for this and apply for this. So anyone that works is the same thing, the same stipend, same benefits.
Thank you very much. And I think that answers Victoria's question. I
Okay,
wasn't aware.
just to add to this women in STEM, maybe sometime in the future, maybe around December, I can still bring some of my people who want the women in STEM, and that you can feature them specifically for women. And
Okay.
one thing I'm not sure is the fact that, as my colleague said, you must have a strong grade because it's being selected by the universities. The university of the selection, they now send it to SI. So you must have a strong 2-1 or a first class. All the people, all the girls, the ladies in our group that won the STEM scholarship, I mean, I asked them personally, 4 points first class, 4.21. So I think maybe we arrange for that for
Okay.
the SI scholarship for women in STEM so that we'll bring those our people and they can shed more light on it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I think we can always look forward for that. I never knew there was another package for the women, and I think we can always take advantage for it. So guys, look out for our updates as we make arrangement for the women scholarship for SI. Joel is asking about payment issue. I don't know how you guys does like how you address this, like in terms. I'm sure it's for the application fee is asking about. So, Felix, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for last year, most people from Nigeria have issued paying application fee because of the restriction placed by CBN. But I think for now, it has been removed at the lifted up. So I think they can pay the application fee from Nigeria. But if you can't pay, maybe you have difficulty in paying application from Nigeria, I think most of us can see how we can help, and then we just help you to pay the application fee.
Okay. All right. So I think that addressed the person that is asking about the payment stuff.
Please, my advice on application fee payment, like what I did, I will encourage people. You can have digital wallet. I paid with cheaper, is it cheaper card or what they call it? I use my cheaper account, so you can use Revolut and all that. So just have it handy if you know. But if you have someone in Sweden who can do the payment for you, no problem. But in the absence of that, your cheaper card, your Revolut will go a long way. It is seamless. You make the payment and they receive it instantly.
Okay, so I think that's it. I also advise people you can open Revolut, Wise, and all these accounts even at home. Charles, someone is saying, can I create an account with SI before November? I think the scholarship you mentioned that is opening next week, right? So maybe I don't understand. The person is saying, can I create the application account? Charles, what do you think? I don't know.
With the admission, yes, you can open it up. With the admissions with the Swedish Institute, you can open up the admission account as early as November, actually even before November. But when it comes to SI, you can only get into the portal once they release the link.
Okay. I think that
Yeah,
clarifies it.
for the admission, the moment October 16th is the date. So from October 16th, you can have a portal. You can create an account or dashboard. But like I will always tell anybody that is interested, you can do that, no problem. But you have to wait till November 1st when SI releases their guidelines, because it's that guideline that will really tell you. Like I said earlier, before you even choose school, you should sit yourself down and interview yourself, ask yourself your story and how you want it to be like. So that is what will really help you in choosing your courses and all that. So if you want to do anything now, it is approach your university for transcript, because that can be problematic in Nigeria, delays and all that. So that's what you should be doing to ensure that your transcript gets to SI through email latest January ending. That's all you should be worried or concerned about now.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. So I was saying I'm going to take these questions last and last, but then I think questions just keep coming in. Felix, I'm going to pop up two questions on the screen at the same time. I'm going to read it. You can also read along and just try to answer the questions. I think they are related. So this is one of them currently on the screen. So I think it's about knowing if they stand a chance based on their academic background, their work experience, which I think we've also answered. So this is the question from Oni Bell for literature and the likes in banking. And the next question that I'm also seeing here is about Abdul sorry Abdul Mumin is asking, I train smallholder farmers on carbon farming. I attend webinars, blah, blah, blah. How can I leverage the webinar my networking for essay? So it's a two-in-one question. Can you just help us summarize it in 1 minute? I'm trying to round up before the next 3 minutes. So just in 1 minute, summarize that.
Okay, for the first person, I mean, you stand a good chance of winning the SI scholarship. Just tell your story, link it to SDG. SDG is the language of SI. When you speak that language, you link it to your story. I mean, you stand a good chance of winning. Then this last person too, you are also a good candidate. I mean, smallholder, you are a good candidate. I mean, go back to the SDG, read it, and then tie it to your story to convince SI. Then you are good to go.
Let me quickly add to that last person. You see, carbon farming is in fact, a lot of people don't even understand what carbon farming is. And if you are into carbon farming and you tell SI that you're into carbon farming, that is the sustainability they are looking for in agriculture, in climate. In fact, you have what they need. If you can tell SI and explain what carbon farming is and tie it to what you want to do, you'll be in Sweden next year and come to SLU.
All right, I'm trying to wrap up, to be honest, but I don't know. The questions is just coming in and coming in. What do we do? This is 2 hours on this session. Oh, you people are not tired. Okay. Somebody is asking about CV. Brown, I maybe you can help us answer. It says it
Yes,
keeps scattering. I don't
yes,
know.
yes. You see, this is one technical aspect that messed a lot of people up. I know a medical doctor whom well, I saw is we are applying. We just coincidentally saw that we were both applying and all that. It was this stuff that messed his application up. Now, the CV is it comes in a format, and when you are trying to fill it, blah blah blah, it keeps shifting and scattering your next page, dancing all around. So what I did was that I just downloaded 3 different CVs. The CV comes in 3 pages. So I just downloaded 1, 2, 3. So what I did was the first one is for page 1. So I did everything that has to be in page 1. So whatever happens to page 2 and the scattering, no problem. So I saved that. I went to the second CV and I went to page 2. I filled everything I needed in page 2. I saved it. Whether page 1 scatter, whether page 3 scatter, that's not my business. Then the third CV, I went to page 3. I did everything that I need to do on page 3. Then I now use my PDF, whatever, to extract page 1 from the first document, page 2 from the second document, page 3 from the third document. Merge it together, then you have your page 1, 2, 3 arranged, clean, without scattering. So it's what I did. You can also do it.
I think that is just a very easy cheat code there. I think that answers the question of whosoever asked, Felicia. Yeah, I think that answers your question. Joel is asking, maybe Charles can help us elaborate on the, I don't know if MSc and donating a water borehole to an abattoir can help me as a vet doctor. I don't know, Charles. I know you are not in Agric, but maybe you can answer the question.
Not so sure about the question very well, but I'm trying to look at maybe some of the leadership activities that he did as a volunteer or just to give it out to communities in that abattoir. Like Felix said, you have to tell everything and make a story come out and connect it to SDG. So as long as you have some experience in the community and you're impacting in a way something the community is benefiting from, you just have to tailor it and say a story that is really compelling and is giving the selection committee a tick that you are really into leadership and you are changing something or you're doing something in the community. So yes, you can tailor that donation of the abattoir. Maybe you can say it helped in access to water. It helped to. You just have to craft it in a way that reasons out the impact in the community, but also connected to SDGs and what problem are you really solving. So it is possible that you can use that as an experience and it make you stand out.
Thank you so much for that. I think we've addressed, finally addressed all the questions. And if by adventure I skipped you, I'm so sorry. You can always reach out to these guys on LinkedIn. They are really, really willing to help you. I just intentionally put this out for Felix to see. He says, how can he join your mentorship group? I don't know if you have one, but let me know if.
Yeah, I think the mentoring group I have is a guide that I have provided because, truth be told, I mean, nobody should like say we met. Just go through the. I have poured out my heart on that guide, and I didn't monetize it. I made it free for everybody. Just go through it and with your own partner research. I made samples of CV, essay, motivation letter. Just go through it with your research. You win the scholarship. It's as simple as that.
All right. It
Okay,
seems so many people don't want to go home again.
let me quickly add to that. For those who may be interested in face-to-face classes and all that, they can check me out on Facebook. Just ISOS Alvian. You get details and information because I hope to also organize mentorship for as many as those that will be interested, not just for SI, but other available scholarships.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, because I feel so many people need it, and it's not something that one person can do alone. So we need everybody on board to provide all this information for people. So you can reach out to Charles Brown, sorry, on Facebook. And in case you need more information about the SI scholarship, I'm having a lot of people asking about the recording. Once the live session is done, you can view it on YouTube, you can view it on LinkedIn, so you can go back to watch anything that you missed. I think Esther is asking, I'm sorry, I might not be able to forward it to your email, but yes, it's recorded live. Just go back to YouTube or LinkedIn and you'll get the session there. I think that's just it for now. I just want to ask Felix one last question. So to wrap up, for those that are preparing for the 2025 Swedish Institute Scholarship, what is one practical piece of advice or mindset shift that help you succeed and you would love others to take away tonight? I just want you to wrap it up with that last question.
All right, just have a positive mindset that you can win this scholarship. Believe in yourself, start early, do your research, and with the help of God, you win the scholarship.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if Charles have one thing to add to, and Brown. Just one minute. What's your own advice for people applying for this session?
Yeah, just be open and free to learn. Once you get this opportunity, make sure that you're open to learn and network. Be confident in what you're doing. Be authentic, and make sure that you really have everything that is required on time. You might not need to worry about interviews, because there is a point where you will have a video interview. That is if you are selected to a second point, but just be free, because when you're recording that video, it is just giving yourself out and showing them that you are really confident about what you really wrote. So be authentic and make sure that you're consistent.
All right, thank you so much. So Brown, over to you. One last
Yeah,
piece of
what
advice.
I will just tell you, SI scholarship for me, because I have, though I've not applied for any scholarship, but when I made up my mind that I wanted to go study abroad, so I looked into so many scholarships, their requirement and all that. What I can tell you for free is that SI scholarship is the most detailed scholarship when it comes to their guidelines. It is very easy to get if you can immerse yourself into that guideline that will come out 1st of April. So my advice to you, when the guidelines comes out, download it and begin to study it. Don't rush. Don't rush to start preparing your document. Let me give you an example. When I saw the guidelines in November, I have a jotter here. The 4 programs I wrote out that I intended to apply, the more I got deeper into the guidelines, reading it every day, thinking it, bringing it, even while I'm working or just doing my normal routine, thinking about it and all that. At the end of the day, though the first 4 programs I intended to apply, none of them made my final list. You understand me? So what I'm trying to say is, understand every single detail of that guideline. I know a lot of people who missed the scholarship this year because they made mistakes or they misunderstood instruction or misunderstood some statement. So the best way you can help you, immerse yourself into that document. The documents are many. When you see it, don't say, what are they saying? Every single line, every single statement is intentional. They are telling you this is how we want it, and that is how you should give it to them. When you do that, I'm very, very certain with God that you will get it.
Thank you so much. This is a real fantastic, I would say, a masterclass session on Swedish scholarship. I really appreciate your time, like 2 hours of your time. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. And Felix, you did a very great job inviting these two other scholars. I love their energy and everything, their contribution to this topic. I really appreciate every one of you, to be honest. It's not an easy task leaving your schedule. I believe you should be on your bed by now, sleeping or doing one other thing, but you decided to leave out your time to make it up for this session. I really appreciate you so much. And to every of our audience, I think this is the first time we're having large number of people waiting till this very till this very end. I'm always conscious of 1 hour because I know most people leave when once it's on, but then majority of people are still online, like they are still waiting till now. Thank you so much, every one of you out there that have participated in this session, that have contributed. I hope we were able to resolve every of your questions concerning the SI scholarship. And if not, I can guarantee that anyone you reach out to among these three people are willing to answer your questions or guide you through the application process. Like Felix mentioned, he has a guide on it. It's very open, it's free. Not even in this age where people monetize everything. So in case you need something like that, just go to his page, his resources. We need to also do our own work personally. You don't need to be spoon fed. If you need, you are serious about it, go to the SI scholarship itself. You get all the information that you need. So thank you so much for staying tuned for us to this very end of the session. I really appreciate every one of you. You can repost it to your network. You can have the recordings. So many people are looking for this information, and I can tell you it's not free out there. So you have it at the tip of your finger. Share it with others. Let them know you attended and you were able to gain some valuable insight into the SI scholarship. So the next session is going to be featuring the MasterCard scholarship for UK, which is currently opened. That will be in 2 weeks' time, October 25th. So if you are also interested in joining our session, the same time, the same venue, so just look out for details on my LinkedIn, which I'm going to be sharing the details about the scholarship and the speaker as well. So for now, I would like to just close it up with just a very short prayer. I know we did that at the beginning, and we also need to do that at the end. So, our Father and our God, we thank you for this insightful session. It's been an awesome time listening to this our wonderful speaker as they dish out values about how to navigate the SI scholarship. Thank you because you've used them as a source and channel of blessings to other. Father, we pray that you continue to replenish them and you continue to make them as a bright shining light for others to see in the name of Jesus. And for everyone that has joined in here to participate with the session, we want testimonies to abound as a result of their attendance, as a result of their participation in this event in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, because you've heard and answered. For in Jesus' mighty name of prayed. Amen. All right, guys. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again at our next edition. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mm.